really well about today.
Coming at you live where Brooke is not feeling very well today. This is a pre-game show. World Series Game 2. What's going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. That guy over there is Brooke. You can find me at RealFRG on Twitter and Instagram, and him at BrookMe3. He's famous these days, by the way, Mr. Brooks. How are you doing, Brooks, on the internet?
I think I got lettuce in my alcohol. I don't know where lettuce came from. I haven't ate lettuce today.
Was Cody's hair there?
I don't know. It's a weird day, guys. I don't know what's happening. Nothing makes sense anymore. But the Dodgers are up a game in the World Series, and I couldn't be happier about that. How did you feel about yesterday's game? Because I was happy, and I haven't felt like that for a long time.
Yeah, I know you and Happy don't get along all that well, but I was calling it like the almost most perfect game. Like everything that could have gone well for the Dodgers, for Kershaw, for fans happened in Game 1. We've been here before. Dodgers have won a Game 1 in a World Series before, and every media outlet is letting you know that right now, that they've won before. They won against the Astros, and then they lost Game 2, the Kenley, home run, Yuli, racist Gurriel, and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
I feel a lot better about this one, despite, people maybe not being too on board with Gonsolin on there, getting the ball to start the game. But before we get into all that, let's go ahead and find some comments here. And King Yellowman, our buddy on YouTube, says Blake Snell about to get it up. I'm assuming get lit up. I'm assuming, yeah. Unless
he's using our pills, in which case he is getting it up. That's perfect.
Yeah, we don't have that promo code right now, right? So, no. Our buddy Hatfield in the stream said the run production behind Kershaw didn't suck, so that was nice. And huge, some huge plays all over the field last night. I mean, another JT, just incredible ranging play in the 6th where it was like that ball had eyes. It was going to do that thing where it just sneaks by, and then it's like the first batter gets on, and it's Kersh in the 6th, and it's like, oh no, it's happening. Thankfully, it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, when you saw him coming out for the the third turn in the lineup too, it was also that deep sinking feeling in your gut of like, oh no, it's happening again. It actually went much better than I could have ever hoped, so that worked out well. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Kershaw. Frank, part of the Let's Be Frank podcast, says Kenley will pitch in a big spot this series. I feel like he's going to throw tonight because he hasn't thrown a whole lot as of late, and he's one of the few rested guys out of that bullpen. I have mixed emotions about that. I don't know if I feel good about it, but I am looking forward to Kenley redemption season in the World Series. That does make me feel all warm and tingly inside.
Scott Brody over on Facebook says, I trust Jansen more than I trust Floro. Floro, definitely the 15th guy on the 15-pitcher roster. And, you want to get him in on those high lead games, and I wouldn't say he did the job last night, but at least he got an out. He bridged the gap. I don't know. I mean, he ate up some pitches. I don't know what else. He didn't do a whole lot. It's really hard to
pitches and get people on base.
Really hard to spin that one positive. Go ahead and find a few more comments, and then we'll kind of start playing around. Apparently, Sailed Owner says it's Podcaster Day, so happy Podcaster Day to you.
Podcaster Day?
Yeah,
that's a thing. They got a day for everything. Today's like
Podcaster Day.
Shoes Day, Slippers Day,
International.
Exactly. Leslie over on Facebook says, "Hi guys, let's go Dodgers. Feeling better about this series now. I did walk away feeling better taking Game 1. Losing 2 in the championship series, that is a rough feeling. Mm-hmm. Definitely don't want to be backed into a corner again. But at the same time, don't take it for granted. The Rays are good. Don't let yourself get backed into a corner. Don't let yourself feel too good about it, but just be a little bit happy for what we have." Trent over on Periscope says, "Nah, Alex Wood is the 15th guy." Alex Wood is another guy that we could see today. Arguably the 15th guy, but arguably not, given the fact that Floro was left off the wild card roster, was he not?
Yeah, that was something that was everybody, or he cried about it a little bit. He was mad. Dave felt bad. And then he came right back in a very useless wild card series, or after it.
It happens. It happens.
David K. Jones on YouTube asked, do we have a podcast during the offseason? What happens when the World Series is over? We're still here with you guys every single week because we're not those kind of people that just, podcast and dip when it's important. No, we're here every single week. at least once a week. We take some time off during the holiday times, even though we don't know what the hell those are going to look like this year. But we're around, so subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm not going to bang the bell. You guys know what a bell sounds like. Steve says Urias should be our closer. I mean, he kind of was. He's in some weird hybrid role that I'm not upset with. But
I love it. I love what's happening.
I can't gauge because he was on the one of the calls, the media calls yesterday, and I can't gauge really how he feels about it because there's some of that loss in translation, and it just feels like he doesn't like it so much. I think he really wants to be starting, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about guys who came up as starters, were projected to be starters. There's obviously more money to be made as a starting pitcher, and that's something good to be said about that. But dude, just the flexibility that we've been able to, we keep giving it to him. We got to give it to Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin too. Those three guys have really come into a spot where they're like, wherever you need us, just plug us in and we're going to throw. And on any given day, you might be starting or you might be closing out a game. It's a weird spot to be in mentally as a pitcher when you're used to having 4 days to prepare for a start, going through an entire routine before the game, knowing that you're pitching in that game, and then getting into the game, throwing 5-6 innings or whatever, and then not pitching for another couple days. When it's the position that they're in, it's like, hey, just always be ready all the time, no matter when. And they're like, okay, got it. So the way that those guys have stepped up, all young guys too, it's been incredible. We don't make it this far without those three guys.
Oh, yeah. There's been some everybody in the pitching staff has done something where they're a little bit out of their comfort zone, and for the greater part, it feels like everybody's excelled to a degree, which it kind of gives it helps solidify that feeling of like, okay, maybe this is one of those magical seasons where every little thing is going right. Swag Daddy McGee on Twitch talking about he says, not to be a negative Nancy, but if Gonzalez doesn't catch that piss missile last night, the 105.8 or whatever it was right into the glove, that's a very different looking inning. We're feeling a lot different about that game one too. So, and him,
Kike was right there, man.
He would have got it either way. Okay,
he's right behind him. They don't show the angle very often, but if he doesn't knock that down, Kike has it on a short hop and turns 2.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Good play though, awesome play.
Position,
really good play.
And ouch, I'm sure he felt good about that. But
100% ouch.
But yeah, digging into that game a little bit from yesterday. Like I said, the near perfect game. You couldn't ask for a much better game. On the mound, Kershaw shoved. He did what was needed of him. He did what we hoped, what everybody would have hoped out of him. He got 6 innings. But he only gave up 2-3 hits, just the solo bomb for a run. I forgot how many. I think he had 8, 9, however many Ks, because he got 3 groundouts in that final inning. But it felt to me like they kind of followed my game plan. I said, get him 5, get him 6, go to Floro. I changed that mid-game, in-game, when he was like going toe-to-toe with Glasnow. I was like, okay, I'm good with him going into the 7th. I really think I think he should have started the 7th. I mean, it's easy to be this, everything worked out fine. I'm not questioning Dave here. I'm just saying I think I would have left him in for the 7th for a number of reasons. You let him get that first out or whatever, but I just like the idea of him walking off the mound to the crowd for the first time in 2020. I think that would have been something, I don't know if it's poetic about it, but it would have been just a nice little capper to a fine outing and to something that we talked about it yesterday, the rewriting Kershaw's narrative, and that game 1 start did. That just would have been that last little icing on the cake. But hey, who doesn't like just plain old devil's food cake?
I don't. I prefer icing on cake. How about the Rays, dude? Completely flipping their script and going against the grain on everything that they've done all postseason to get where they are, doing it the exact opposite. And riding Tyler Glasnow into triple-digit pitch counts and just watching them get blown up. Like that's the complete opposite of what they've been doing. They pulled Charlie Morton early in Game 7 where he was dominating because they wanted to go to their pen where they knew they could have some success and keep guys locked down and play the matchups a lot better, which is what they've done all year. And they just kept with Glasnow, and it bit him hard, number one, because he got nuked. Like he was just getting crushed and he was missing his spots, and you could tell that he was really struggling. And on top of that, you run his pitch count all the way up, and for what? Just to get your bullpen in there anyways. So you
Yeah.
burned a couple guys early. It still didn't work out.
I can kind of see it. It seemed like that was a vintage Dave moment, but instead for Kevin Cash, because it's one of those things where it kind of came up and bit them really quick. I mean, he was cruising, and then Mookie even admitted it. I think after the game, or yeah, he was talking to Fox Sports or something like that, and he looked at the biggest play of the game, of so many big moments and big plays. He looked at that belly homer as kind of like a sucker punch to Glasnow, because he was cruising, and then out of nowhere, boom, there goes the ball, and the next inning he starts getting torched a bit. So
you could see it though, and I said it right before, like literally moments before Cody hit that ball out. You see him dropping in velocity a little bit, enough for it to be noticeable. You see his leg kick go higher and more slower, which often means that you're trying to get more behind your throws. Everything about it looked like he was yanking the ball, which means you're trying to throw harder. He was gassed out. He was tired. He wasn't supposed to be in there that long. And as soon as Cody jumped on him, things just poured on. Things unraveled. He should not have been in there as long as he did. It was a mismanagement for sure by Cash, a rare mismanagement, because I think he's a pretty good manager, especially bullpen manager. But I think that's gonna change the game over the next couple of days for the Rays.
Yeah, no doubt. They use some arms, and now you can't get him on 3 days, maybe even 4 days or whatever. So definitely a good thing that the Dodgers snuck up on him, took a bunch of walks. That was one of the things after the game. Kevin Cash was kind of, I wouldn't say complaining about, but he's like, we can't give up that many walks. Well, it's like, hey, Chief, that's kind of what the Dodgers do. They don't just go up there hacking. They've been smart. They've been selective, and all of that was fully on display in Game 1. Another thing fully on display was Marcus Lynn Betts, Mookie doing it all, getting America tacos. I mean, we were talking about it in the post game, because just about every lazy national writer that's in the post game media scrums on Zoom, they're all asking every player, oh, just how good is Mookie? Just how good is Mookie? But hey, Brooke, just how good is Mookie?
And the Mookie is very good. And I think my wife asked me, she said, do you think the players get tired of hearing questions about Mookie? Like, just everybody else gets, when Mookie comes up, it's not like, hey, tell me about Chris Taylor. That's not the question. The question is, why are you so good?
Yeah.
So I think it's funny that we keep asking that question. Obviously, there's a certain professionalism that goes along with it. Guys understand it. He obviously got a 12-year extension for a reason. Mookie Betts is an incredible baseball player. And I'm not talking about the home runs and crushing balls and stuff and, home run robbing grabs and things like that. You look at the little things that he does on a daily basis during a game, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen in another baseball player before. The instinct that he has, the knowledge that he has of the game, the situational awareness that he has for each and every pitch and each and every at-bat is just next level. It's unparalleled. It's not something that you see on a field every day. And it's when you start to see those things and start to realize what's happening, you're like, oh yeah, that's why they gave this guy a 12-year extension before he ever played a meaningful game for him. So Mookie ran wild on the base pass yesterday. Obviously he hit a home run too. That's good, great, and grand. That's his first postseason home run with the Dodgers. There'll be a lot more to come. But also stole a couple bases, orchestrated a double steal with Corey once again. Those guys are becoming great at reading each other that way. Mookie even talked about it. He's like, before the season, I just told him, like, hey, if I get on and then you get on, watch what I'm doing, because I like to steal bases. And Corey's like, okay, like I'll be there. Becomes the first player in Major League history to hit a bomb, steal 2 bases, and score 2 runs in a game. So super random stat, but the fact that he's the first to do it makes sense. Man, what a ball player, dude.
Yeah, and he's the first player to ever get tacos for all of America with 2 different teams. I assume that's a stat. I don't know if anybody else is doing it, but if not, boom, you heard it here first, folks. But staying on him real quick, I was texting with a buddy last night about Mookie, because he's like, obviously everybody's eyes are on him right now, and just watching the things that he does. he's 3 or 4 different steps ahead of the next most elite athlete. He sees things other people don't. He finds ways to get it done. He has that instinct in the back of his head, like a Kobe, like an MJ, but just on the baseball field. And it's incredible to watch, and I'm happy to be watching him for the next 12 seasons or 12 years of my life, if I make it that far, if we all make it that far. Jumping back into the comments here. Michael Moran, or Moran, if I'm saying it wrong and mean, thanks for joining us, Mike, on Facebook, says it's Catterday. Happy Catterday, Brooke. Catterday came early
Happy
this
Catterday.
week. Getting into the starting pitching matchup, boom, we got Tony Smokes going on the bump, Mr. Catman himself, going against 2018 AL Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell, who was kind of one of them flash in the pan Cy Young guys, but on paper it looks like an uneven matchup. What do you like about this matchup for the Dodgers?
I mean, I do like that Tony's going today. I think it's his redemption time. He's been put into a weird spot where he didn't even appear until the NLCS.
Yeah.
Despite being on the roster, and that was not based on anything with his performance or anything like that. It was purely based on the fact that the Dodgers were just steamrolling everybody. You know, they ran through the Brewers. He was probably scheduled to make an appearance in a game should that have gone to Game 3. Obviously, it didn't happen. He was probably supposed to make a Game 4 appearance with the Padres. That didn't happen either because we swept through the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
So finally gets into a game with the Braves. Gives up a bunch of runs. Gets a lot of unfortunate hops, both appearances that he had to come in. Things didn't go his way. Gives up that solo shot in his relief appearance in Game 7. You know, there's a lot of things to like about Tony altogether. And the past 2 appearances to me aren't indicative of anything that's going to be happening this playoff season. So I think that this appearance for him is going to be good. The fact that it's coming so soon after his most recent appearance should be interesting. You talk about pitch counts for him. You know, you got 41 pitches thrown on Sunday. You probably are going to look to about match that, give or take. If you're going to estimate, it's hard to say. You know, Doc said we're basically going to ride him as long as he can pitch effectively, and that remains to be seen how long that is. But then you got to start thinking about guys that are coming in behind him. I think if you can ride Tony and Julio to 5 or 6 innings, that's a pretty good outing for a bullpen day.
Oh yeah, no. If Tony can get those first, 2 or 3 innings, I think the Dodgers would be really set. I would not let him get anywhere near the 5th. Max him out at 4 if he's cruising. Like you're saying, it's more gooder that he's thrown more recently than his last. The last time through, he'd gone like 14 days, and then he was kind of thrust into a weird situation coming in as the bulk guy after D-May, and he's heavy split change guy. He's got that good split change as I hold a ball for no reason because I'm doing my best Oral Hershiser impression here too because they're on at the same time as us, competing with us. Who do they think they are? But it's a field pitch, that it just the longer you go between, you lose that feel, you lose that slip, and he was leaving a lot of those change ups middle away, and that's why he started getting cranked, especially later on in that bulk outing, or even right off the bat when he first came in that bulk outing after D-May. So I feel a lot better about him today. I think he knows if he knows, hey, just get us 2 of your best innings, and we got you from there, dog. And that's a good feeling going in.
No, yeah, I think you're right. I think you get any kind of innings out of Tony beyond 2 innings would be amazing. I don't expect that, really, given his pitch count. You start looking at the past couple of days and how pitchers have been used. I don't know if you get worried necessarily. The Dodgers have been burning through a lot of pitchers, especially starting pitchers. Buehler is going to go tomorrow. And normally that would be something where you're like, all right, well, good. We can burn a lot of guys in the bullpen today. But given his situation with his blister, the uncertainty of how long he's going to go, whether or not he's going to run pitch counts up because of walks again, you just don't know what you're going to get out of him. And so you almost have to play today kind of conservatively as best you can to protect for that tomorrow. So it does put Dave in a weird spot where I think he's going to ride relievers a little bit longer than you might like to see him under normal circumstances. It's good that Trina didn't really get
Mm-hmm.
or didn't get an appearance yesterday. Obviously, he made 3 straight over the weekend.
Yeah.
Threw a ton of pitches as a reliever. You got Jake McGee, who has not thrown much at all.
I don't know
throughout
what's
the
up with
course of
that,
the
man.
playoffs. Yeah, that one seems to be weird to me. I think maybe that they're playing the matchups and they're like, look, dude, all you do is throw fastballs. And a lot of these teams that we've played have been really good fastball hitting teams. The Padres, excellent fastball hitting team. The Braves,
Yeah.
excellent fastball hitting teams. The Rays, very bad fastball hitting team. So I think that he'll play up down the stretch for us. I expect him to make more appearances than, say, Adam Kolarek does this series. So he's kind of a secret weapon who hasn't been used very often. You also have Alex Wood, who threw Friday and Saturday back to back, or threw about 60 pitches last week. I'm sorry, combined between his 2 appearances. So you don't really know how they're going to use him. You would think in a bulk inning type of role or 2 inning type of role, but I don't know what their plan is for Alex Wood. I don't know if they plan on using him today or tomorrow or ever, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're more likely to see him today over tomorrow. I think at this point with like Walker too, like if you're looking at Buehler, the kid's glove or the the blister tape is kind of off. I think he's full go and he's locked in at the right time. We were talking about that, in these shows at the beginning of the postseason about if you find a way to kind of stretch him out, slowly build him up, and make it to the World Series, right there he should be just right on schedule of the best version of Walker Buehler. And I think we're going to see a lot out of Walk tomorrow night, but we're talking about today. And if you have a chance to win, Dave said it in the pregame today. If we have a chance to win, we're going to use Julio if we need him today. He's available. We're going to use whoever we can to win the ball games. And I think that's something, Dave kind of, maybe that was the kick in the nuts Dave needed in Game 2 in the NLCS, where they had that opportunity and he didn't want to. It wasn't a do or you don't want to use your high leverage reliever because it's not do or die in a Game 7. Well, he almost died. It almost happened. So you saw that market change in Game 5 going forward. So maybe you do see something like that starting tonight. If you see Julio tonight, come in and get you 4 innings, then if you get the win out of it, that's all you're trying to do. You got to get 3 more wins before they get 4, and you got to do that any way you possibly can. So the best way to do that is to light up Glasnow's friend, Blake Snell. Blake Snell on the mound. Again, a 2018 AL Cy Young Award winner. Very, very good season. He had a fine regular season in the shortened season that he didn't want to be playing because it was going to be messing with his money. He's a weird kid, and I use kid very liberally. I've heard him be called a 15-year-old in a 27-year-old's body. He's somebody that if the Dodgers can get to him and rattle him early, I think he'll be very thrown off of his game, and you might be able to get him out by the 2nd or 3rd inning or something like that. That's just the kind of feel I get on Snell. Of course, I haven't seen very much Blake Snell. What are your thoughts on the other side of the matchup?
Yeah, I think he has the potential to. I don't want to say be bombed on or anything like that. Obviously, he can be hit very hard. The Dodgers. Coming into this, if you had told me during the regular season that we'd be facing as many lefties as we are with the Rays, that I would be a little bit nervous about it. But the Dodgers have turned things around, flipped the script a little bit. They've hit lefties very well. Snell has, in terms of his postseason, he's had 2 really good performances, 1 really bad performance, and 1 meh performance.
Yeah.
So you don't really know what you're going to get out of him. You do know that you can work walks off of him. You can work counts off of him. We do tonight, by the way, have the of every home plate umpire that's scheduled for this series, tonight is supposedly the least accurate home plate umpire.
Bill Miller?
No, it's Tichenor or Todd Tichenor.
Oh, Todd Tichenor, yeah.
So if you're looking at it from that viewpoint, I just don't, I don't know how that's ever going to play up. You never know how that's going to work in anybody's favor in terms of like accuracy from umpires, but he is statistically a more neutral umpire. He doesn't fall on a pitcher side or a hitter side necessarily, but he does miss a lot of calls. So you don't know how that's going to play on a day-to-day basis. With that being said, I think if you run up his pitch counts like the Dodgers tend to do, and they obviously did it with Glasnow last night, they worked him when they needed to. He wasn't throwing a ton of strikes. They didn't chase a lot of stuff out of the zone. They did chase some stuff out of the zone, kind of uncharacteristically. But if they can do that against Snell, then they'll have a very successful night. The only thing that really makes me nervous, he has a much better pitch mix than Tyler Glasnow did.
Yeah.
Snell can probably throw 3 or 4 good pitches at you, whereas Glasnow's lucky to throw 2 at you on a given day. So TBD on that one. But we got a lot of slapdick prospects looking to hit him around. So looking forward to that.
If I had the soundboard, you'd be getting a ding. Our buddy SD Dodger Tim Rogers says 58% of Snell's pitches are outside the zone during postseason. So you could see the Dodgers doing what they've done best, which is a crap ton of walks. And that's one of those things, like I was saying, you find a way to get old Blakey Poo off his game real quick, and everything, it can unravel for him very fast. On the other side, he might be an angry boy because he was kind of upset getting removed early-ish on his last start when, against the Astros, and Tampa Bay ended up losing that game, had to go to a Game 7 and all that. So there's some of that. It can go one way or the other with Snell, and I don't think he's going to absolutely shove personally, but the hope is you get him out early, you rattle him, you get a lot of pitches, maybe have him at like 55 pitches through 2 innings, and then things happen with that. Before we get into the lineups, we neglected to mention it beforehand. Game time is coming up in about a half an hour, about 40 minutes or so. Actually, we're exactly 40 minutes away right now from first pitch. I've seen a few people in the comments asking if there's a game tomorrow. Ozzy Picasso on YouTube is nice enough to throw some money our way and help us. So Ozzy Picasso, we thank you on YouTube. He says no game tomorrow. Yes, a reminder, there are 2 off days in this series, one on Thursday and one on Monday, if we make it that far, which is it's definitely in the realm of possibility. So
we definitely needed the off day personally.
Personally,
us,
for sure,
as people.
Roach says it helps the Dodgers that the fact is tomorrow is an off day. You look at that, you're not going to have Buehler going tomorrow, so you can kind of throw the kitchen sink a little bit more tonight and get that dub, because Game 2 is a very important game. We've seen that throw some of these series off big time.
I think that that off day is going to be good for a lot of people. It definitely plays into tonight. For sure.
Definitely. Tyler Shiroma on YouTube is asking for a shout out. Should we give Tyler Shiroma a shout out or not?
My Shiroma.
We're very proud of you.
Be here all today.
Did you just come up with that one?
I did right now.
Hope Geiger on Facebook is watching from Indiana. That's cool. Thanks for hanging out. Our girl Janae Juno is in the stream. She says, "Hey guys, hi Janae. I hope you're not working, but you're always working. We know that." Big Steve says, AKA Mr. We gave up famine info for a slapdick prospect. So there you go. You have your slapdick prospect. As my center. Wait, what do I have you play? Shortstop usually, right? Back in the good old days. Yeah, back in the good old days when we were able to play softball. Any more comments before we get into the matchups for today?
We got Daniel checking in from Facebook. Says, "Hey guys from Seattle, Washington." Daniel, hello.
We got a lot of LFGs in here. Daniel Smart literally threw a lot of L's and F's and G's. So I agree. Let us effing go.
I can also agree with that. I got Juice Lee checking in from Ontario. That's IE, baby. IE, stand up. Let's go.
IE is I with me. What's going on? IE, we got a Glenn Hesperia. Samuel is asking, y'all worried about Seager? He's been not as on fire. It's only been like a game or two.
Yeah, I mean, game 7 of the NLCS, and then yesterday wasn't. He's hitless in 7 at bats. That's it. Mm-hmm. He's got a couple of. He walked 3 times yesterday. I think he walked so. 3 times yesterday.
Yeah, he got on base. He's scoring. He's making some things move.
Yeah, that's a productive day, dude. That's a hella productive day.
We got Kevin from Quincy, which one I think you said. We got a troll in here. We got Alexa is also in the stream. Alexa says, "Hi Clint, how you doing, Alexa? Good to see you, or good to see your name, I guess." Tyler is also saying 4-game sweep ? I don't know. We'll see who said that in the last game. We got DJX Via on YouTube. kicking down a lot of money. $7. That's pretty cool. This couple tunes talking Dodger baseball, checking in from Highland and Hollywood. Hey, DJX Via here can get that ballpark app food thing. Was it home plates? Because
home plate?
yeah.
Like
there we go. So that's the thing. We can't get that. We're not privileged. I'm in Whittier right now. He's over in South Path, so they don't deliver as far as us. But that's pretty cool. Have a Dodger dog on yourself.
It's on yourself. Yeah, Hayden checking in from Australia. I told you, Mr. and Mr. Worldwide, nonstop.
Hey, there we go. Let's go. All right. Get in the lineup. Boom. Sorry to cover your guys' comments with the lineup. I can cover Brooke, but that's just rude. Same old for a left-handed pitcher, I guess we'll say. Stacking as many righties in there as we can. We got Pollo at the DH. Kike's in there at second base. Taylor out in left field. So you got your maximum outfield defense in there. And then the usual top five are going. Even the Max Muncy haters, I think they're starting to quiet down because he's getting the job done all around. How do you like our lineup here? And what do you think's the key against, even though we've talked already a bit about it, around it, what's the key against Snell for this lineup?
I like the lineup. I like the build of it. I like defensively how it looks. I think I saw it earlier in the stream. I don't remember who said it, but I owe Kike Hernandez an apology. Not really. I don't really owe an apology, but he's definitely come around a little bit in the playoffs. He's shown up. He's proven that he can put up good quality at bats when it matters. I like him being in the lineup tonight against Snell. You get the left-handed pitcher. Why not throw him in there? It works out positionally. You get CT over in left field. CT is a better outfielder than Kike, in my opinion. You get Will Smith behind the dish again. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing to hate. And everything else is, it's pretty much the same. You get Pollock at DH. Can't go wrong with Pollock at DH. You know how I feel about that.
No, it's worked. I think he can finally, I hope he finally breaks out here, because he hasn't been hitting into the best of luck, and I think it's kind of got into his head a little bit, especially after his postseason last year. But I really do like the lineup, and I like it even more if, like I said, we're able to find a way to rattle Blake Snell early. But you guys in the stream, go ahead and drop your hot shots, your picks to click. Who is going to go deep tonight? What's the final score? Give us your predictions, all that kind of fun stuff. Wanted to note in the stream, the person that kicked us down with some nice fundage, DJXV, is from Uptown Whittier, Penn and Whittier. Well, how you doing, neighbor? I'm Whittier right here after 605. Don't come to my house.
Don't do it.
Or if,
I don't like visitors.
I do not like visitors unless they are welcome. I do not like the what do I call it? The unannounced arrival. That's just rude. Yeah. Don't do that to me.
The pop-in. No one likes the pop-in.
You don't know if I'm wearing pants. Let's be fair. The other side of the lineup, boom, the Rays going with those names. Surprisingly, they still have Lau at the top of the lineup. He's like, I think 5 for 54 or something this postseason.
Yeah, if you want to be mad about Max Muncy hitting fourth, you should take a look at the Rays lineup, because dude, they just keep riding with these guys, man. They're like ride or die with these guys. But they're kind of like, I don't know if I'd call them like us this year. I think they're like us the past couple of years.
Yeah,
where they'll just have a rotating lineup all the time, and it's always going to be different, and it's always going to have matchup based, platoon based splits, and it's always like that. And that drove us crazy, so I'm sure it drives Rays fans a little bit crazy. But Austin Meadows at the top, that's one of those guys that from like the moment he was born, people just thought he was going to rake all up and down the league. Mm-hmm. Hasn't quite done that yet, but he is an efficient hitter. He can hit for power. He can be a home run threat when it's necessary. I like the matchup against these guys today. I like the, Randy Rosarina he looked awful, like swinging against Kershaw yesterday. He looked so lost, and I get it. You're facing a really good left-handed pitcher after coming off of a Houston pitching staff that doesn't have any pitchers. It's kind of difficult to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lau batting second. I'm just not going to get over that one.
Plus, some of these guys, you got to figure first time big stage pressure, because not a single one of these people have ever been in the World Series. But
the good news is we get G-Man Choi back in the lineup. I was
just about to say, we get to see our boy G-Man Choi, and everybody knows the cheer. It's just his name with claps. Shout out Hesop Choi, because those were good old days. Those are the good old days. Digging into a few more of the comments and some of the people's pick to clicks. Let's go. So Kim has got a Muncie bomb. Armando says free Rios. I know we haven't seen BD Eddie for a while, but hopefully we can get him in on a pinch hitting. He's available. There's a lot of bats off the bench if we need him. If the matchup prevails, we know Dave Roberts has actually been really he's been pulling on the right cards for pinch hitting roles so far this postseason. Big shout out to your boy Kike on that one too. Matt saying Mookie Betts going deep again tonight. Anthony saying Mookie and Seager going yard tonight. I like that. I can get in on that.
I'm down with that. I'm not going to hate that. Do you have a click to pick for tonight?
Oh man, let me look at the lineup again and see which name I like the most. Well, let's see. I went Will Smith last night and I hit. I forgot who you went.
I think I went Max yesterday. Did I go Max yesterday?
Probably.
I think I went Max yesterday.
Yeah, I think you liked all that stuff I had thrown in the sheet here. You know what? Just because it's his final season in Dodger Blue, and he always finds a way to hit against the big names. I'm going Enrique. Kike Hernandez is your pick to click. I think he goes yard. I think he does something pretty special with the baseball bat tonight.
That's a good pick. I don't think you can go wrong for him. I'm gonna. Yeah, this is a tough day, but I'm gonna go JT today. I think JT gets one off of Snell today.
Missed one by about 2-3 inches last night.
Yeah, he goes through weird flashes of where you're like, why are you hitting third? To oh, that's why you're hitting third. So yeah. I've had a very up and down relationship with JT this postseason, but ultimately, always glad he's there.
Janae has a very good point. Just for everybody in general, just bring me beer and you'll be fine. I don't know what the context is, but I agree wholeheartedly with that. Oh, about people just randomly showing up. Yeah, that helps. Beer or a bottle. Depends on how much I like you. If it's it should be a bottle if I don't want you here at all. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Arturo says Max gets a hold of one tonight. Billy Payne says Turner and Muncie barely missing home runs. That's right. It's a good point. So they're going to get it tonight. Dodgers. We got Doug saying Dodgers 5. I think a 5-0 shutout. Is that what you're going? You going 5-0 shutty there, D-Mac? I'll take that.
That's a bold prediction.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out. Matt over on Facebook asking. They're trying to locate my or find my location, saying 605 in Firestone. No, 605 in Whittier Boulevard.
We got a couple of people dropping money into the chat now. I think you got the ball rolling on that whole money thing. DJ X Billy give us $5 more. We appreciate you again. He said, "Boys in blue, let's go." Wish we still had Sean Green out there. I was a few years behind, but which Sean Green could probably still swing it nowadays. And then Hayden over on YouTube gave us $5 Aussie dollars. I don't know what the exchange rate for that is, but he says Betts walk-off home run in the 10th. You hope it doesn't get to extra innings, but man, what a story that would be.
Yeah, that would be. I just want to win. That's all I want to do, guys. I just want to win. I just want to play good. I just want to talk baseball. I had to, man. Let's talk baseball. Hey guys, definitely love everybody that threw some money our way. That's great because it does put beer eventually in our mouths while we're talking to y'all. So that's cool. We also just appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're gonna wrap it up here. We're just about half an hour till game time. This will also be available as a podcast. So check out Blue Heaven Podcast on all the spots you do podcasts. We're there. Blue Heaven Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. We're also all over the internet. We're doing stories all the time at DodgersNation.com. So if you're looking for anything Dodgers related, you're going to find it there, DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You might be watching us there right now, but if you're not, YouTube.com/DodgersNationTV. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. You'll be happy you did. And, well, you can plug Doug and all the other stuff. I'm going to let you take care of the rest.
Thank you. We appreciate that, guys. I'm at Brooklyn3. This guy over here is at RealFRG. We're both on Twitter and Instagram. At Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at Official Dodgers Nation on Instagram. Make sure you guys check us out after the show. Check out Doug McCain. Doug is the man in the post-game show. He'll be talking you through the win or the loss, depending on how things go. You hope it's a win because Doug's very happy when he's happy and very sad when he's sad. That's Doug McCain. He is one in a million. That's a good way to describe him, right? I think that's the best way to describe him.
He out here wilding. Sports.
He's good, dude. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for all your comments. Like we said, we're going to be here every day, every game, post-game, pre-game, everything that we do. And we do a podcast. Don't forget about the podcast. We got to represent the podcast.
We're so tired, guys. We're so tired. Thanks for hanging out. Let's go, Dodgers. We'll see you guys, I guess ahead of game 3. Bye.
Oh, bye.